हरि ओम। ये तु एतद् अभ्यसूयन्तो. In contrast with the 31st shloka, Lord himself is saying that forget about the people of my kind. Let me talk about people of your kind. What kind? Those ye tu etad this abhyasuyante abhi asuyante. Abhi e asuyante, a e a becomes ya abhyasuyante.
Abhyasuyante.
Suyante, the word mool dhatu is a suya. Mai adhyakshena suyate characharam. Bhagavan has said at some other place in Bhagavad Gita, suyate. Suyate is manifestation. So Bhagavanta is saying that, look, you are a manifestation. Whose manifestation? My manifestation. Mai adhyakshena suyate. When you do not consider yourself as my manifestation, you are asuyante. Because you think you are your own manifestation. If the ceiling fan decides to call itself as an independent entity, forgetting that it is the electricity that makes it run, so the manifestation, avishkar of ceiling fan is possible because of electricity. The karyam that a manifestation does could be anything. The same electricity can heat something, the same electricity can rotate the blade of a fan. Those are karya vividha paddhati. So the upadhis that we are, the manifestations under the Lord's own wish, we may have different karyams. I cannot bear fruit. That is tree's function. Because tree has been endowed with that functionality. So the upadhi may have a particular functionality, but if the upadhi starts thinking that I am not the manifestation, but I am the creator of the karyam, that is where you start cavilling, carping. You are nibbling at Lord's creativity. In those situations, if you continue to do that, you're continuously juxtaposed, abhyasuyante, continuously juxtaposed to the thought that I am not the manifestation of the Lord, I am my own manifestation, which itself means carping at the Lord. Etu etat abhyasuyante. Then what happens? Na anutishtanti me matam. Lord has given a twist to the tale here. Na nu tishtant, na anutishtanti. The word tishtha. Tishtha comes from stha. Stha is sthiti, the place where you should be. You are not staying in that place. Na tishtanti. Sometimes you are staying in that place, sometimes you are not. So there is no anutishtanti. Anu is continuously behind. Na anutishtanti. Me matam. My opinion. Residing in me and my matam are not two different things. Lord says, Nanu tishtanti, you're not staying in me, because staying in you, your own nature is staying in me. So my matam is me. Me and my matam cannot be two different things. In Keno Upanishad, we come across a very tongue-twisting mantra. Yasya amatam tasya matam yatam matam yasya na vedasah avidnyatam vidnyatam vidnyatam avidnyatamaha. This tongue twister what it says is yasya amatam tasya matam. The one who thinks that I don't have opinion is having an opinion. Matam yasya, the one who thinks I have something, my own knowledge, yasya na vedasaha. He has not understood. Because either you can have you and your opinion, or me and my opinion. You being part of me, you cannot simply think of having your existence and matam as separate than mine. Moment you do that, that act will be called as carping at me. Karpanya dosha apahata swabhavaha. Karpanya dosha. What is that karpanya dosha? In Sharanagati, Shadvidha Sharanagati, one of that is karpanya. Think yourself as a small, get belittled in front of God. The meaning of that is believing in only one thing, that is a Lord, which itself is his opinion or matam or jnanam or whatever. So all possessions of Lord and Lord, they are not separate. And then there are some entities who reach him, they are called Mahajana. Like Gurudeva was a Mahajana. Mahajana, why? Tarko apratishtaha shrutayo vibhinna na eko rushiryasya matam pramanam dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayaha mahajano yena gataha sapantaha. Follow the road or the pathway taken by Mahajana. Why follow the path of Mahajana? Because Mahajanas follow the path of Krishna. So Vasudeva here says that my matam, meaning thereby the Vijnana that you achieve by being one with me, by staying with me on a continued basis, anutishtanti, that would lead you to become asuyante, which was described in the 31st shloka. If that you do, then sarvajnana vibhudan, sarvajnana vimudhan. If you singly take this word out, what it means is sarvajnana vimudham. All knowledge is delusion. Then if all knowledge is delusion, why have knowledge at all? All knowledge is delusion till it becomes vijnanam. Jnanam and vijnanam. That is why in both 32nd and 33rd shloka, word vijnana has not been used. Lord is using the word jnana, because a jnana, moment we say jnana, it is vritti jnanam. Vritti jnanam is within the consciousness. All knowledge obtained within the consciousness as upadhi is bound to be a false knowledge. Why? Because this knowledge being vritti jnanam, it will be knowledge of or for somebody. That knowledge which is of something always presupposes dvaita. That which is dvaita based knowledge cannot be the real knowledge. The reason why it cannot be the real knowledge is because the real and the unreal is not discriminated by such a knowledge. That means having knowledge alone is not enough. Only when the knowledge is separated between Atma and Anatma, Shuchi and Ashuchi, which is the special faculty of intelligence called Viveka. The word which comes from which dhatu, to select. Which is to select. Select between what? Select between Atma and Anatma. So the one whose discriminatory power or vivek is destroyed, nashtan chetasah. Who are nashtan chetasah? Vasudeva says, please know those sarveshu jnaneshu vividham mudha te. Shankaracharya says, sarveshu jnaneshu, saptami. Sarveshu jnaneshu vividham mudha te. All variety of secular knowledges, all being best in the Jiva Upadhi Dvaita format of Vritti Jnanam, can never reach to that which is knowledge by itself, not knowledge of something. Gurudeva has given few sweeping comments which are so critical for us to understand ourselves. The first, he says, the man is considered superior to animals because of divine faculty of discrimination, viveka. And that is the reason in Viveka Chudamani, right at the beginning, Adyav Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka Pariganyate Iha Amutra Phala Bhoga Viragas Tadanantaram. Vairagya is Tadanantaram. Prathama Viveka, Nitya Nitya Viveka. An intellect strengthened by its own intrinsic capacity to distinguish between real and real, right and wrong, is the mightiest of the instrument of self-development in man. In one stroke, Gurudeva gave us so many corollaries. One, you have a mighty instrument called intellect. Two, it has intrinsic capacity. So it has to be, it should spring out. Three, it is the only instrument of self-development in man. Do not focus on anything except intellect, the buddhi, and let that buddhi become full manifest with the intrinsic capacity. And the practice or the effort or the endeavor to get out the intrinsic capacity of the intellect to its highest level is called sadhana. Once that is done, then you will realize, or we are expected to realize, Krishna's matam. What to talk of our intellect? Swami Vivekananda's mighty intellect, perhaps the mightiest of intellect born in recent period, is Swami Vivekananda. He, when he was in Kashmir and went to Kshira Bhavani Mandir, which was in a desecrated form because of the Mughal onslaught, felt very sad that such a great Devi and her temple is desecrated. I shall make all my efforts to make this mandir. And he vowed for it in front of Devi herself, saying that Devi Mata, I shall not leave Kashmir unless I make a beautiful mandir here of yours with the lost glory. And promptly Kshira Bhavani Mata appeared in front of Vivekananda and said, oh, I did not know that I have to take your help to make my mandir. And she said, if in a wink of eye I can create the universe, you think making a temple is difficult for me? And a person of mighty intellect like Vivekananda bowed in front of Kshira Bhavani and said, I am Kshamaswa Mata, thy will be done. That's why if you read his speeches in America and other places, one thought that was constantly in the mind of Vivekananda, whether it was going for the religious conference in Chicago or it was the questions that were asked in USA, he always say, thy will be done. Thy will be done, not mine. So when thy will be done, it is matam of Vasudeva. When my will be done, it is abhyasuyante. And that is a constant cacophony coming from our own heart. रसमंद अंदर बाजता बाहर सुने तो क्या हुआ, सुनता नहीं दिल baja bajata. Constantly the heart is echoing that you are nothing else but the manifestation of the Lord, and you have no opinion of yours, in the sense that the highest of the opinion is already endowed to you. Why do you want to throw the gold away and take the clay in the hand? That is why a Sufi beautifully says, मैं आया नहीं लाया गया हूं, मैं आया नहीं लाया गया हूं, खिलौने देखे बहलाया गया हूं. I have got lots of 5 indriyas. These are my toys. बहलाया गया हूं. And what is the fact? आदम का बुत बना के तुझ में समा गया हूं. पहले भी मैं खुदा था, अब भी मैं खुदा हूं. That being the situation, then the question comes that why is it that we all are not following Vasudeva? Kasmat kvaranat twadiyam matam na anutishtanti. Shankaracharya in the commentary part asks this question. And then tataha pratikulaha katham na bibhyati. Why they are not afraid of not following Krishna's path? And the answer given is sadrusham cheshtate swasyaha prakrute jnanavan api swasyaha prakrute sadrusham cheshtate. So what is prakruti? Jnanavan api. First of all, ajnani, forget about them. Even the jnani, which includes all noble laureates, Jnanavan api, the best of the philosophers of Western philosophy, more than half of them have committed suicides. Even being the best philosophers, they were quirky. Why? Jnanavan api swasyaha prakrute sadrusham cheshtate. Then what is prakruti? Shankaracharya has given beautiful vyakhya of prakruti. Prakruti hi naam purvakrut dharma adharma samskaro vartmana janmadau abhivyaktaha sa prakruti. Prakruti is that enables us to manifest in the current dharma adharma samskar of the past births. So what is it? In the so-called modern English, if we have to put this particular definition, thought is the reaction of ego to the surrounding. Thought is the reaction of the ego to the surrounding. Every thought is buried in the subconscious. Memory is the tombstone erected for the thought. Every new thought excavates the cadaver of memory, and every jiva is kaleidoscope of samskara pishacha. Our existence is nothing else but the bundle of thoughts that we are carrying. This bundle of thoughts have a hue or a color or a propensity which defines our character. So the character is built by vasanas. Vasanas are built by samskaras. Samskaras happen because of the sanyog of me through the indriyas to the object, with the object. Dhyayate vishayan pumsa sangasteshu upajayate. It is the sanyog, sang, between the object and the subject through the indriyas that leads to samskaras. Each samskara leads to a thought. A thought is then buried in subconscious. A thought buried in subconscious is called memory. This memory is recalled every time. This memory, when becomes deep-rooted and grooved, is called vasana. Vasana tends our personality, and tenting of personality by vasana is called character. And that is why Vivekananda said the first step in making spiritual progress is make your character. The key of spiritual sadhana is in this shloka. Jnanavan api swasyaha prakrute sadrusham cheshtate. If everything is going to flow as per the thoughts, and thoughts are going to decide who you are and what your fate would be, then the focus has to be on the thoughts. And Gurudeva comes out with a stark warning. A very compassionate Gurudeva, suddenly you find becoming extremely strict in his words. Higher ways of living are not meant for all. A compassionate Gurudeva is saying this. Why? Because the difficulties that are there and how very few who reach that stage. He says majority of the people main crowding at the lowest rung of evolutionary ladder. 99% are at the lower rung of evolutionary ladder. Only slightly evolved entity, even he's using the word slightly evolved, full of enthusiasm, slightly evolved, full of enthusiasm, activity and passion for progress, Rajoguna, who can follow this sacred path and benefit themselves. So we have to use our full Rajoguna with passion for this path. First, you should know the path. Only those who are lucky to know the name called Chinmayananda and Bhagavad Gita are lucky, have been stamped as lucky to know the path, at least the topography. The map is in the hand. The walk has not yet started. Then, with full enthusiasm, activity and passion. This enthusiasm, activity and passion is what Ishwarji keeps telling. Before the breakfast, every week, all that he exhorts is this. Use the Rajoguna for that purpose. If not, then Prakruti, the nature of yours, the character that has been defined you, in which is because of the thoughts and the desires, will take you to a tormenting hell. So the life itself is tormenting hell. Naraha kayanti iti narakaha. The place where people cry well is called Naraka. And it is not there up in the sky. It is right here where we are sitting because we are crying. And all this is because we got bound in the consciousness of time. We got bound in the time because of our own thoughts. If the purity of thoughts had been there, and if you would have followed the matam of Vasudeva, we wouldn't have been born at all. We would have been out of the time and space. A Sufi says beautifully, Lamho ke ajab seh raha hu. Ajab is torment. Lamho ke ajab seh raha hu. I am experiencing tormenting of each moment, the time. Why? मैं अपने वजूद की सजा हूं. I am a self-inflicted person. The infliction on me is coming because of my own wajud, is Prakriti, nature. Prakriti yanti bhutani. Prakriti yanti bhutani. Beings will follow their nature. This is called a fundamental principle. These are postulates, grahitaka. You have to keep it in mind. There's no change in this. Prakriti yanti bhutani. Every bhuta, jiva, shall follow its nature. So the aim is every bhuta or jiva should have no nature. If you don't have any nature, you will be out of Prakriti. And out of Prakriti means Purusha, beyond Prakriti. As long as you are in Prakriti, you shall be bound by the Prakriti. This binding by Prakriti is Graha. Graha is to bind. In the binding, there is a Sandhi Kala, or there is a Sandhi. So that is why in Sanskrit grammar, there is a Sandhi. And what do you do? Vigraha. Visheshena Grahati. Vigraha means Vigata Graha. Vigat Graha. You remove the bonding. And Nigraha, when you have Nishchayam, that the binding has to be removed. But for that you require a Nigraha. that nigraha can happen only when the mind has decided it. But the mind doesn't stick to the nigraha. Why it doesn't stick to the nigraha? Because of its chanchalya. Why chanchalya? Because of rajoguna dominance. And sometimes it doesn't think of it at all. Why? Because of tamasa. Every time when the nigraha starts dominating, then sattva guna starts coming up. That's why the restraint will not do anything unless the restraint is simultaneously aided and abated by the purification of thought process. You cannot clean a outer shirt or a tunic by dipping yourself into a gutter. Vishaya, you want to be part of the Vishaya and you want to have a nigraha. Not possible. For my nigraha to last, I have to change the Prakruti. That's why Bhagavan says, what will nigraha do? Nigraham kim karishyati? What will nigraha do if the person has not paid attention to the Prakruti? The Prakruti being nothing else but dharma, adharma, samskara. So that means first, both the samskaras are causing this. But the worst is adharma samskar. So first step is to remove adharma samskar. Every adharma samskar removal is called chitta shuddhi in process. So the purgation of adharma from my nature. And how do I remove adharma from my nature? The simplest logic would be, if every act done by me is for others, it removes the adharma. Because adharma has something to do with the ego or the swartha. Swartha, if that is the center of my action, then my adharma will predominate. And when my center of action is others, then dharma will predominate. And then first from adharma, I will go to dharma. And then sarva dharman parityajya. Then both are to be left. Then when both are left, then what will happen? Prakriti will dissolve. Why? Because prakriti namaha purvakruta dharma adharma samskara. And when adharma dharma samskara is not there, there is the question of vartmana janma dau abhivyaktaha. No abhivyakti, no birth. भला हुआ मेरी गगरी फूटी मैं पनिया भरन से छूटी. I'm no more required to come back. And if I don't come back here, where do I go? I go straight to Vasudeva. Why? Because when this nothing of this is there, then he exists. Either I exist or he exists. The process of me going from me, myself, to he, himself, die, tat tvam, tat asi. Tvam, as long as I'm in tvam, I'm into this Prakruti. And that is why a clue is given, and the clue tells us one thing, that Prakruti yanti bhutani, come what may, every bhuta shall behave as per Prakruti. Prakruti will come from dharma, adharma. Dharma, adharma is exhibited by the thoughts that you exhibit in the world. Thoughts are coming because of samskara. Samskar comes because of Vishaya Sangha. And in this, the only illuminating power is Buddhi. So please focus on the Buddhi to sort out the mess that is created by the Manam. What is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong is not known to me. And even then I have opinions. The WhatsApp, if we open, which is another stupid exercise to have that account, tens of thousands of messages come. Everybody is giving knowledge and everybody is giving opinion. Gyanchand and Raichand. Full of them. And I'm also one of them. This precise Gyan and Rai This so-called jnana is creating an obstacle for me. So what is my solution in this? To reduce to the best possible extent the outward interaction of my thoughts, of my indriyas, of my mind, so that I do not create untoward thoughts in my mind, which will not create adharma, which will not pollute the mind, which will reduce the purity of the mind, and then think of only those things which are conducive for dharma. And to think conducive for dharma means to attend the satsanga, to remember Gurudeva always. And another bright and shining key is verify. If you go to the goldsmith, he verifies how much gold you have. So he has a touchstone. What is our touchstone in our life? Gurudeva. How do you use a touchstone called Gurudeva? When you are doing some act or thought, ask a question that you are sitting near Gurudeva and ask in his ear, Gurudeva, am I right? And a thunderous voice will come. What are you doing? What will happen? You will shiver and you will say, Gurudeva Kshamaswa, I will not do it again. So let Gurudeva's whip be there through his thunderous sound. And this is a thick-skinned creature. So the thick-skinned creature should listen to Gurudeva again and again. When Gurudeva says in the commentary of this particular shloka, that everybody thinks by the end of 1 month, this tapovana jnanam, whatever I have acquired, I am going to be a liberated person on 31st of the month. It doesn't happen, and it will not happen. Why? Prakrute. You came down in thousands of and millions of years. Now you want to go up in 1 second? That is against the nature of the law of the nature. Shanai shanai hai. धीरे 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 रे मना धीरे सब कुछ होए, माली सिंचे 100 घड़ा, ऋतु आए फल होए. तुकाराम महाराज says, तुका म्हणे तेथे नाही चालत तातडी, प्राप्त काळ घडी आल्या विना. प्राप्त काळ घडी has to come. And when will it come? Keep walking. And in this walk, people with secular knowledge will criticize you a lot. Then, yakla chalo, yakla chalo, yakla chalo. Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore's poem says same thing. There is no light anywhere. People are criticizing you. Keep walking. Why? Because there will be one illuminating light that will be guiding you. Light of the stature of Gurudeva will be there. Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Samartha Ramadas, Jnanadev Maharaj, Shankaracharya, Tulsi Maharaj, they are all illuminating lights. And Jnanavan has been used on 2 bases here. Anubhuti is the only thing that separates Jnana from Vijnana. The one who has Anubhuti is Vijnanavan. The one who has no experience, only recipe, no food made is Jnanavan. We are all Jnanavan, including the person who is talking is Jnanavan. Why? He is able to speak. Where is the Anubhuti? Not yet, sir. Because Anubhuti cannot come only because of the power of expression. Vaktrutva does not lead you to this. Anubhuti is at heart, not at brain. It is by bhavayanti. Bhava is in the heart. And that is why these 2 shlokas can really make us reach in our sadhana in a precise manner. Shurasya dhara. Walk alone. Walk alone, because there will be not so many coming with you. Gurudeva has already said, higher ways of living are not meant for all. Not meant for all means what? Only one person in 1950s went to Dakshin Kashi to learn something, to Uttarkashi. Only Gurudeva went there. There were millions in the India. Nobody went there. Why? They thought the career is important, wife is important, and they stayed there. They also lived and died. Only one person illuminated the entire length and breadth of India and reached a state which is envy to all. Hari Om.